Hey, BuzzReelers, and welcome back to the channel.
Yeah.
I've been, thinking a lot about the future of Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
And what's really got me buzzing is, Rey Skywalker and the new Jedi Order.
Mm-hmm.
What would it really take to make it work? I mean, like a lasting legacy.
Yeah.
Not just another, flash in the pan.
Right.
Like when Luke was training Rey in The Last Jedi, it felt like they kind of glossed over a lot of the details.
Oh, really?
It was like, okay, here's how to lift some rocks.
Yeah.
Now go face the First Order.
Right.
There's got to be more to it than that, don't you think?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, if Rey's really serious about rebuilding the Jedi Order, she can't just focus on the flashy stuff.
Right. Yeah.
It's the philosophy, the Jedi's place in the galaxy.
Yeah.
That's where things get really tricky.
Totally. Imagine trying to rebuild something as big and influential as the Jedi Order.
Yeah.
Where do you even start?
Right.
Like, do you try to stick with the old ways or do you try something totally new?
That's a great question, and it's a delicate balance,
Yeah.
You want to honor what the fans love about Star Wars.
Of course.
But you also don't want to just rehash the same old villains and the same storylines. We need something fresh.
Exactly.
Something that feels authentic, but also kind of pushes the boundaries a little bit.
Yes, and I'm picturing something a little bit more grounded.
Yeah.
Kind of like,
Okay.
remember those early ideas that George Lucas had
Yeah.
about the Jedi fighting like crime syndicates and dealing with more like down-to-earth problems?
Yeah, that's a great point. I think it would be really cool to see the Jedi tackling issues that feel relevant to our world. Maybe they're fighting corruption in the New Republic or helping to rebuild planets that have been devastated by war.
Yes. And you know what else I think would be super interesting?
What's that?
The whole idea of Gray Jedi.
Yes, the Gray Jedi. A Jedi who operates outside the traditional black and white view of the Force.
Exactly. Instead of being so rigid with a Jedi code, what if Rey embraced a more nuanced approach to the Force?
Okay.
Like acknowledging that there's good and bad in everyone, and that the dark side isn't always this like big scary monster.
It would definitely be a major shift for the Jedi Order.
Yeah.
But think about the prequels.
Okay.
The Jedi's strict adherence to their code ultimately led to their downfall.
Right.
Maybe a less dogmatic approach could prevented some of those mistakes.
Right. And imagine the internal conflict.
Oh, yeah.
Jedi wrestling with their own desires.
Mm-hmm.
Tempted by the power of the dark side,
Uh-huh.
but ultimately choosing to do what's right,
Yeah.
even if it means bending the rules a little bit.
It would make for some really compelling character development for sure.
Yeah.
And it raises a whole new set of challenges for Rey as a leader.
Right.
How does she guide a new generation of Jedi who are questioning everything they thought they knew about the Force?
Whoa, mind blown.
Right.
I never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
It's like we always see the Jedi through the eyes of the Padawan, but this would be totally different.
Yeah.
What's it like to be a Jedi Master rebuilding an entire order from scratch?
Totally.
The weight of that responsibility.
Yeah.
The decisions she would have to make.
It's a perspective we rarely get to see in Star Wars.
Right.
And the possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
Think about the leadership challenges.
Okay.
Does Rey build a council like the old Jedi Order?
Mm-hmm.
Or does she create something entirely new?
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Does the New Republic even want the Jedi back?
That's a good question.
I mean, history shows that powerful institutions can be pretty wary of groups like the Jedi.
Absolutely. The New Republic might be hesitant to give the Jedi too much power.
Right.
Especially after what happened with the Empire.
Yeah.
There could be a lot of tension and distrust to navigate.
Imagine Rey having to walk this tightrope,
Oh, yeah.
trying to establish the Jedi as a force for good without stepping on any toes.
Yeah.
The political drama alone would be epic.
Makes you wonder, right?
Yeah.
How would the Jedi even fit into this new galactic landscape?
Totally. Like, what would their role even be?
Right.
Would they be peacekeepers for the New Republic?
Mm-hmm.
Or would they be something else entirely?
That's the big question.
Yeah.
They can't just be warriors,
Right.
There's got to be more to being a Jedi than just fighting.
Yeah, think about it.
Right.
The old Jedi Order became so focused on fighting the Sith
Yeah.
that they kind of lost sight of everything else.
They did. They were so caught up in the whole prophecy thing
Right.
that they missed the bigger picture.
Yeah.
What if this time around the Jedi were more focused on serving everyday people?
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah.
Like, what if they were like Jedi healers,
Okay.
traveling around to different planets, helping those in need?
That's a great idea. Or Jedi teachers,
Yes.
sharing their knowledge and wisdom with the next generation.
Instead of being this exclusive warrior class,
Right.
they'd be more integrated into society. Imagine Jedi working with communities to rebuild after the war, mediating disputes,
Yeah.
helping people find their own connection to the Force.
Now, that's a Jedi Order I could get behind.
Right.
That's more about compassion and service and understanding.
It'd be such a powerful message, wouldn't it?
It would?
Like, the Jedi aren't just about fighting the dark side. They're about bringing light and hope to the galaxy.
Totally. But let's be real.
Okay.
There's always going to be darkness out there.
Yeah.
There will always be those who are drawn to the dark side.
Right.
And the Jedi can't just ignore that threat.
So are you saying they still need to be warriors?
Maybe.
Do lightsabers still need to be a thing?
Maybe, but maybe they can evolve their approach to combat a little bit.
Okay.
What if instead of always resorting to violence, they focus more on defense, on de-escalation?
You mean like using their Force powers to prevent conflict in the first place?
Exactly. What if Jedi training focused more on diplomacy, on understanding the root causes of conflict, on finding peaceful solutions?
Jedi negotiators.
Yeah.
That's a cool concept.
Right.
Jedi who are trained to talk things out, to find common ground, to build bridges instead of burning them down.
It would be a radical departure from the Jedi we've seen in the past.
Yeah.
But it could be a really powerful evolution.
Right. Imagine Jedi who are known not just for their fighting skills,
Right.
but for their wisdom, their compassion, and their ability to bring people together.
It would be amazing to see Rey lead that kind of Jedi Order, wouldn't it?
Totally.
One that's truly focused on peace and understanding.
But here's another question.
Okay.
What about the dark side?
Yeah.
Do you think there will inevitably be like a new generation of Sith rising up to challenge Rey's Jedi Order?
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
You know how it is, wherever there's light, there's always going to be darkness trying to snuff it out.
Ugh, I know, it's like you can't have one without the other.
Right.
But wouldn't it be awesome if for once good actually triumphed over evil? Yeah. Like if the galaxy finally found lasting peace.
I mean, that's what we all hope for, right?
Yeah.
But maybe it's not about completely eradicating the dark side.
Okay.
Maybe it's about finding a balance.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Just like that old saying.
What's that?
You can't have a rainbow without a little rain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe the key is not to eliminate darkness entirely, but to learn to coexist with it.
Yeah.
To find ways to manage it. To channel it into something positive.
I like that.
Okay, now you're blowing my mind again.
Really?
That's such a profound way of looking at it.
I think so. Think about Rey's journey.
Okay.
She's faced some serious darkness,
Yeah.
both within herself and from her enemies. But she's always chosen to fight for the light, to believe in the good in people, and to strive for balance.
She's proof that even in the darkest of times, there's always hope.
Absolutely.
And that's a powerful message to send to the galaxy, don't you think?
It is. It's a message that we all need to hear, even here in our own world.
So how do you think Rey's personal experiences will shape the way she leads the new Jedi Order?
That's a great question.
I mean, she didn't exactly have a traditional Jedi upbringing.
Right. No ancient Jedi temples or wise old masters for her.
Exactly.
Rey had to forge her own path.
Yeah.
Relying on her instincts and her own inner strength.
And she faced challenges that no other Jedi before her ever had to deal with.
That's true.
Like she had to confront the dark side within her own family.
Yeah, that's heavy stuff.
That's heavy stuff, and it makes you think.
What's that?
Maybe the Jedi of the past were too focused on tradition and dogma.
Okay.
Maybe they were afraid to embrace the messy, complicated reality of the Force.
Yeah, maybe they tried too hard to fit everything into neat little boxes of light and dark.
Yeah, but Rey's journey shows that there's a whole spectrum in between.
Exactly. And maybe that's what the new Jedi Order needs.
What's that?
A leader who's willing to challenge the old ways, to embrace nuance, and to find balance in the gray areas.
Ooh, and speaking of gray areas,
Yeah.
there's one thing we haven't talked about yet.
Okay.
What does it even mean to be a Gray Jedi?
Great question.
Uh-huh.
See, a Gray Jedi isn't just some rebel who breaks all the rules.
It's deeper than that.
Way deeper. It's about questioning the rigid Jedi code and finding a personal path to balance in the Force.
So it's not about choosing a side light or dark,
Right.
but about finding that middle ground.
Exactly.
Like maybe the Force isn't as black and white as we've been led to believe.
That's right. A Gray Jedi acknowledges both the light and the dark within themselves
Okay.
and seeks to find harmony between the two.
Wow, that's deep.
Yeah.
So a Gray Jedi Order wouldn't just be about training new Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
It would be about helping them understand themselves, their emotions and their connection to the Force on a much deeper level.
You got it. A Gray Jedi Master would be like a guide, a mentor, helping their students navigate the complexities of the Force and find their own unique path to balance.
It would be amazing to see that kind of Jedi Order on screen, wouldn't it? Jedi who are thoughtful, compassionate, and truly understand the Force in all its complexity.
Absolutely, and I think Rey Skywalker is the perfect person to lead that kind of order.
Yeah.
She's already shown us that she's not afraid to question the old ways and forge her own path.
So are we saying that a Gray Jedi Order is the future of the Jedi?
It's definitely a possibility.
And it would certainly make for some amazing stories, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Imagine the moral dilemmas, the internal conflicts, the epic battles between light and dark.
The possibilities are endless, and that's what makes speculating about the future of Star Wars so exciting.
Totally. It's like we're all part of this giant galaxy-sized conversation, imagining what could be. It's like Star Wars is holding up a mirror to our own world.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Right.
Like all these challenges the Jedi face, rebuilding after conflict, figuring out their role in society, dealing with these powerful institutions.
Totally.
It's all stuff we're grappling with right here, right now.
Exactly. It makes you think like,
Yeah.
maybe, just maybe, there are some lessons we can learn from the Jedi about how to, like, handle our own problems.
I think so, for sure.
Right.
Take the whole Gray Jedi thing, for example.
Ooh, yeah. What if we apply that idea to our own lives?
Okay.
Not in a literal force-wielding way, of course,
Right.
but in terms of how we approach conflict and decision-making.
I like that.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Okay.
We're constantly bombarded with messages about what's right and wrong, good and bad.
Totally. And it's easy to get caught up in that black and white thinking.
It is, but the real world is way more complicated than that.
Right.
What if instead of always trying to force things into these neat little categories,
Yeah.
we were more open to nuance?
Right.
What if we embraced the gray areas?
That would require a lot of self-awareness, wouldn't it?
It would.
Being able to recognize our own biases, our own internal conflicts,
Yeah,
and understanding that everyone's coming from a different place.
absolutely. And it's not about saying that there's no such thing as right and wrong. It's more about recognizing that there are often multiple perspectives.
Yeah.
Multiple valid ways of looking at a situation.
So it's like, instead of always trying to be right,
Yeah.
what if we focus more on understanding each other better,
Okay.
on finding common ground?
I love that idea.
Yeah.
And maybe, just maybe, it's something we can learn from the Jedi.
So Buzz Reelers, what do you think?
Could
Embracing a Gray Jedi approach help us navigate the complexities of our own world? Hit us up in the comments and let's discuss.